Let me say this clearly. The mortgage is not the only cost of buying your first home. And this is exactly where many first-time buyers get caught out. I've seen people that have their deposits, mortgage approved, their bags mentally packed, only for them to panic, delay, or even lose the property because of cost no one explains to them early enough. So today, I am breaking down the real cost of buying your first home and doing it honestly, transparently, and without jargons. And this is not to scare you people, this is to prepare you so that you can plan properly, avoid stress, and move into your first home with all confidence. Let's first of all start with the solicitor, because this is one of the biggest surprises for first-time buyers. A solicitor is legally required to transfer ownership of the property from the seller to you. They carry out property searches, review contracts, raise legal inquiries, deal with your mortgage lenders, and handle completion. In simple terms, no solicitors, no keys. So let's talk about the costs, right? So for most first-time buyers here in the UK, solicitor fees usually range from 1,200 to 2,500 or even more. So it is just not one fee. So it's made up of a lot of things: the solicitor legal fee, the search fee, land registry fee, bank transfer and admin charges, ID and compliance check. So one important thing to know is that certain things can make the solicitor fee more expensive. For example, if you are buying a flat or a leasehold property, if you're buying a new build, shared ownership, or if you are using government scheme, or if you have any delay or missing paperwork from the seller, this can make the solicitor fee to increase. Note, cheap quotes upfront often becomes expensive later when all the extras are added. So what should you look for in a good solicitor? You want a clear, itemized quote. Experience with first-time buyers. They must be able to communicate well with you and no hidden fees in between small prints. A good solicitor doesn't just process your paperwork, they protect you. Let's go to surveys, people. So this is where many buyers also try to cut corners and they will later regret it. Your mortgage lender will usually carry out a valuation, but that valuation is for the lender, not for you. And then the prices, it checks just the prices and not the condition of the property. A survey is what protects you from unexpected and expensive problems. There are three types of survey. The first, the mortgage valuation, the basic and the limited. We have the second one, basically the home buyer's report. This is the most popular option and checks visible issue like damp, roofing, electric, and structural consign. The third one is the full building structural survey. This one is more detailed and best for older properties or homes that have been altered. In terms of cost, right, the mortgage valuation is usually up to £300. The home buyer reports 400 to 700, while the full survey is usually 700 to 1,005 or more. So I will usually advise people to choose a survey not to choose a survey based on price alone, but to use a qualified surveyor. Ask for clear reports. Use the results to renegotiate the price if necessary. Now the next one is stamp duty. If it applies to you, because it doesn't apply to everyone. Stamp duty is a government tax paid when property above a certain price, right? You pay it on above a certain price. It usually doesn't apply to first-time buyers, So, but people often get cut out when they are buying the property, right? So just make sure that you understand stamp duty, what you need to pay for stamp duty. It's usually due before or at completion, not later. So it must be planned for. Try to understand. Moving cost also is very expensive and people do forget it until the moving day arrives. Depending on your situations, costs can include the van hire, professional mover, packing materials, storage if there is any. This can range from a few £100 to over £1,000 depending on what you are moving. Moving happens right when your finances are already stretched. which is why it's important for you to budget for it early. Here's the quiet money drain, the initial home setup. You don't just move in and stop spending. In fact, spending usually increases. Things like furniture, appliances, curtains and blind, your internet and utilities, council tax and service charges, small repairs you didn't notice before. Individually, they may seem small, but together they do add up fast. When buyers plan for this cost early, a few things can happen. You will have less stress, fewer delays, and then you will have stronger negotiations, and then a fewer failed purchases. Most of the horror stories you do hear when buying a home starts with one sentence: "No one told me about this." So please just get informed. And this is exactly why I help first-time buyers plan from day one, not just for the mortgage, but for the full cost of buying a home. Because buying your first home should feel exciting and not overwhelming and bringing you stress. If you are planning to buy and want honest guidance that puts you first, please get informed early. It really makes all the difference.